Thank you for coming. This is our 2022 robot presentation. It's been a couple of years since we've had one of these, so glad you all made it. Glad we're all healthy. Let's get started. Our season was pretty bumpy, but I think that's to be expected after having a couple of years of break. But I think we've made a very good robot, and I'm ready to show it to you guys. This year we had over 200, right around 200 students. That's a little bit more than the average team, which probably is about a multiple of 10 lower than that. So we have a fairly big team, but we use that to the best of our abilities to make the greatest robot we can. We have three phases of our. We have three phases during our team. We have a preseason, we have a build season, and then we have competition season. We went through preseason, and we did multiple things. And now we're in build season. We're about to reach competition season. So I hope you're all ready, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth on each one of those phases. Our preseason started with something a little unusual this year, and we did a whole presentation. We did a whole challenge with our new rookies to have them have more hands-on experience with the robot and practice. And so each one of them got to have their own drivetrain, and they got to build on top of that to make it better and complete a goal. Kind of like what we have to do for a main build season, but we did it during preseason, so each person got experience, because not a lot of people have hands-on experience this year. And so we can get more hands-on experience that'd be better for our build season. We also did things like Brian's Crazy Game, which gave them more experience to be leaders and have practice making actual change so they're prepared for build season. Everything with preseason is solely made to prepare them for the build season. And then the build season is to prepare them for the comp season. So let's go into our build season. Our build season is when we actually build the robot. And so it starts with the kickoff. And so the kickoff goes, and we actually learn how our game is run. So once we know our game, we have to decide how we actually want to design and what we want to design for. This game, which we'll see in a minute, has lots of complicated things that we have to decide what we actually want to plan to do and what our priorities should be. And so we tried our best, and we made a really good robot. Our comp season, which starts scarily soon, will be our first one will be in Milford, which is a week 2 event. Some people will start this week, and that's when you actually get to show off the robot that you made. And so we hope we can show it off to you guys and make it really make us proud to be proud to show off what we did and all the time that we spent building these robots.
I'm the treasurer for Robotics, and I'm here to give a short thank you to our sponsors. So earlier this year, I contacted you all with a promise that our team was going to make a large impact on our community. Our team, comprised of both our student leaders and our members, have gone above and beyond this promise, and we've accomplished a lot this season. I'm extremely proud of our accomplishments on both sides of our team, with the tech binder and our robot on our engineering side, as well as our outreach events and our award submissions on our business side. With your support, we were able to build our robot, host multiple events, and sustain our team. And for this, I would like to thank you all so much for your support, and I'm excited to work with you in the future. future to further our team and your companies as well. Thank you. Alright. Hi everyone, my name is Sandhya Soundarajan and I'm the Vice President of Business Operations for this year. On the business operations side of our team, we manage a variety of tasks outside of building the robot, including submitting for awards like Chairman's and the Digital Animations Award, creating outreach events, and building our brand on social media and on spirit items. Of course, this description only scratches the surface of everything that we do, so I'll let the other business leads give you a deeper look into our team. This past year, we faced a variety of struggles. From recruiting new members to finishing up various projects, we met setbacks along the way, but that only made the success we found after more worth it for every piece of setbacks we had. Thank you so much to all the students, parents, and mentors involved this year. All of this could not have been done without your support. We've accomplished so much this year, and I can't wait to see how far we go. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is and I am the outreach lead for the 2021-22 season. So this subject focuses on the planning and executing of unique events that spread the message of FIRST, robotics, and our team in general to those around us. During this year's build season, outreach is successfully planned and held 2 large-scale events, which were an FLL Explore Festival in the fall and a homeless shelter drive in which our team gathered and donated over 1,000 items to a local homeless shelter. Additionally, we have finalized the schedule that we will be following for the rest of this season and into the summer, which includes a variety of events that we are very excited to be taking part in and even hosting. I'm very proud of what outreach has done this season, and I can't wait to do more.
Hello everyone, my name is Ariel Owens and I'm the FTC coordinator for Lightning Robotics. First off, what is FTC if you're not aware? FTC stands for First Tech Challenge, which is the middle school level of robotics. In Michigan, it is only for middle schoolers. They get an annual game just like we do when they build a robot, just on a smaller scale. This year for FTC, we updated the FTC Startup Guide, which is now around 20 pages and includes an advice page with ways to be successful and run a team and sustain them. Our main contribution for FTC and our team is our FTC mentoring. This year we had 13 FTC mentors from our team that helped out 3 FTC teams, including Easton Foodie Tech, West Bionic, Bulldogs, and Iron Dogs. We also had 3 Gallimore RoboFest mentors. RoboFest is the FLL level, which is for elementary schoolers. Lastly, we are holding an FTC demo at West sometime in March. We are planning on holding 2 for both of their teams that will incorporate Pioneer's old teams and Infinitech's current robots to show up and let West kids join. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Victoria, the animation lead. In our subgroup, we work on 2 main projects each year that we submit to FIRST Robotics for judging. These projects are the safety animation and the digital animation, which are 30 to 40-second videos based on a challenge that FIRST gives us. To make these animations, we use programs such as Blender, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Photoshop.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm from the animation subgroup. This year, FIRST challenged us to create an animation showing off our idea for a faster, safer, and more eco-friendly method of providing mass transit. As a group, we decided that trains are the best way to achieve this, since trains are much strength in cars and have an overall less carbon footprint.
This year's theme for the Digital Animation Challenge was Fast Forward Transportation. First challenged us to create a solution to the transportation problems we are currently facing now, such as cargo port congestion and delayed shipping. The solution we thought of was autonomous transportation, such as drones, self-driving cargo ships, and self-driving trucks.
We need to find better ways of managing cargo transportation. And so, what you're witnessing is an autonomous drone picking up cargo from a container ship and transferring it to an autonomous hydroplane which will ferry the cargo to the docks. Once at the docks, a forklift will load the cargo onto a self-driving truck that will transport the cargo to its next destination.
Hello, my name is Chico Faso and I'm the marketing lead for this school year. Marketing's main focus as a subgroup is to focus on branding and creating a cohesive team image. So that way when people from other teams and people from our community as a whole see orange and blue, they think of us, Lightning Robotics. We use a variety of different softwares to do this, such as Adobe Illustrator. And some of the main projects that we've done this year have focused on spiritware, such as the spiritware store, the team game shirts, and the senior shirts. The competition giveaways, things like peer awards, which are awards that we give to other teams who we think have shown very good qualities at the competition, wristbands and notepads and buttons. We also create flyers and logos for our events, such as the Girl Scouts Robotics Exploration Day and the Robots in the Park. This year, I'm really proud of what we were able to do because we're a small subgroup and we faced many challenges, but we were still able to overcome them. And I can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. Thank you.
Hi, my name is James Huber. I am the communications lead this year. So in communications, we really focus on writing and editing essays, working with finances, we do some video production stuff, and we also do a lot of public speaking. And we do this in order to submit for some of the most prestigious awards that FIRST has to offer. We had a lot of struggles this year for various reasons, but we worked through them. For example, all of our projects and files, such as our summary and full business plan, which highlights our team statistics and finances, hadn't been updated since the 2019-2020 season. So we had to work through and update everything through that. Another challenge we faced was trying to rework old statistics to our advantage in the chairman's essay and the chairman's award presentation script, because a lot of our events that we posted and a lot of our mentoring hasn't been able to occur due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite all this, we were able to muddle through and we persevered and we got everything turned in on time, if not ahead of schedule, and I could not be more proud of my subgroup and what we've done this year. Thank you.
Now, let's talk about the thing that I spent countless nights and a lot of hours looking at, the game for this year, Rapid React.
Welcome to the 2022 First Robotics Competition. And this year's game, Rapid React, presented by the Boeing Company. 2 alliances of 3 teams each compete to score their cargo balls into the lower hub and the upper hub. They earn additional points if the robots traverse the rungs of their hangar. Robots start each match on one of their tarmacs and may be preloaded with 1 cargo each. During the first 15 seconds, robots are autonomous, without guidance from drivers. They leave their tarmac, score preloaded cargo, and collect and score additional cargo. During the remaining 2 minutes and 15 seconds, drivers control the robots. They continue to gather up 2 cargo at a time and score cargo in the lower and upper hubs. Cargo scored into either hub count towards the cargo bonus. Launch pads protect robots from contact by opponent robots. Robots may use either terminal, where their human players assist the robots with acquiring cargo. As time runs out, robots race to their hangar and traverse as many rungs as possible. The higher a robot gets, the more points it earns. An alliance that reaches a hangar point threshold is rewarded with the ranking point. The alliance that earns the most points wins the match.
Now, let's look at how we actually are playing Rapid React.
Evening, everyone. Thanks again for coming out. I'm Eric Durso. I'm the Vice President of Engineering Operations here at Lightning Robotics. And we're going to be doing a quick overview of our robots this year, Void and NULL. Whoops. There it is. All right. So Void, pictured here on your right, is our main competition bot. It's the one in nice lightning style blue and orange. Powder coated, of course. And our practice bot, NULL, is pictured there on the left. We build 2 robots because it really helps our development process in that we're able to build kind of the practice robot first, make sure our concepts are working, and any kinks we iron out when we go to migrate. Apologies about that. When we go and migrate any changes we make to the top bot Void. Just some quick specs on our robot. Right now, Void is weighing in at about 94 pounds. That's out of our 125-pound weight limit, which is leaving us plenty of room for growth, which we hope to do in the next couple days here, leading up to Milford on March 11th. Right now, Void's top speed is about 14.8 feet per second on full battery, of course. And we also went with the turret this year, which is giving us 270 degrees of motion that we can move our shooter to shoot at the target. So a quick bit about our drivetrain. We are a 6-wheel West Coast drive. That's just a tank drive, so we operate one side of the drivetrain at a time. We have 6 total motors on our drivetrain and 6 total wheels, 3 per side. 2 traction wheels and then omni wheels in the front to kind of manipulate our turn base and make it easier to drive. And it comes in significantly under the required frame perimeter of 120 inches at 30 by 24 inches. So one of the major, or 2 of the major mechanisms on our robot this year are our intake and our indexer. As you just saw in the game reveal video, there are about 9-inch balls that we have to collect and shoot into the opponent. So our intake is what picks up the cargo from the ground, and then our indexer is what moves it up towards our shooter. When we were going through and prototyping this year, we were sure to keep speed of both of these in mind, speed and reliability, of course. So this is kind of what we came up with, just some wheels on a vertical plane that roll the ball up towards our shooter. Ideally, we were shooting the whole 2 cargo, and then shooting the cargo. And then they power all of that just using one motor. And again, at the bottom of the slide there, you can see we really prioritize speed when we were prototyping. So shooter is what we're using to score balls. We're going for the upper hub for the more points. Our wheels are driven with one of those falcons I mentioned earlier, and they can spin quite fast. The shooter has both what's called a turret, which lets it rotate side to side, and then a hood, which adjusts the angle of the shot. So by dialing all those different variables in, this allows us to shoot from several different positions and orientations on the field. And then before we get into engineering ops, I do want to mention we're currently working on a climber to get us up to the mid-rung and beyond. And we hope to put that on here in the next couple days before nothing. Now we're going to run through some of the engineering operations and kind of each of the subgroups and the process. So again, I'm Eric Fisher, Vice President of Engineering Operations, and these are all of our wonderful engineering leads. And I believe we'll have Amin come up next to talk about our design subgroup.
Alright, hi everyone, my name is Amin. I'm the design lead for this season. Right when the season begins, we begin by conceptualizing. We're not going to go into more detail on this later, but we collect concepts from everybody on the team, and then within design, we look at every concept and come up with our own concepts and evaluate and assess each concept to find the ideal concept so that we could go ahead with building that mechanism. And then we create these concepts in 3D in what's called CAD. For those of you who don't know, CAD is computer-aided design. And what that does is it allows us to bring our concepts into life on the screen, which allows us to find problems early on, detect flaws, and allows us to build and allow fabrication to build our robot while also making sure beforehand that nothing's going wrong. We check the packaging on the robot to make sure everything's going together. We coordinate with fabrication a lot to make sure our designs are manufacturable. You can have the best design, but if it's not manufacturable, if it's something crazy that you can't build, you can't do it. And then we use Fusion 360, which is an Autodesk software. Some of you may know of it. And it's sort of like a Google Drive for CAD. Everything is on the cloud, nothing is saved locally, which means you don't have to deal with sharing files, sending files around, carrying around USBs. As long as you have some sort of computer with any sort of graphic capability and a Fusion account, you can access our files from anywhere. Of course, you need internet access, but this allows our whole subgroup to collaborate from anywhere. This was especially useful last year since we were virtual. It allows us to work from home as well. And we had one major off-season project this year. We were working on the battery cart. The battery cart that we built this year allows us to move up to 12 batteries around while charging, and it's pretty compact and pretty cool. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Leo, I'm in fabrication, and what we do is we interpret the drawing we get from design, and then we create the parts and we assemble them. So as you see up here, there's current stages of void being assembled from drivetrain, indexer, collector, shooter, turret, all the way up to its current state. And we're currently working on a climber, and that should be done, assembled on the bot within the next couple days. And then these two pictures are the more specialized functions we use to create parts. We use a CNC router for most parts, and we also mill up quite a few things. And yeah, that's fabrication.
Hello everyone, I'm Michael and I'm the proxy lead for the electrical subgroup. So in electrical, well, we do the electronics for the robot, but To be a little bit more specific, we are responsible for designing and building the electrical boards, and we're also responsible for making connections between components on the electrical boards, and also very importantly, labeling them. What we do with those wires is we route them and manage them as well, which is very important, so it looks nice and things are tucked out of the way. We also work alongside controls to make sure all sensors are functioning properly and are wired correctly. And we also are responsible for maintaining batteries, so all the robots constantly have a good battery, lots of power, so we can play a good match. During our off season, or when we have some free time, we've completed several projects, such as Amin has mentioned. We have completed the battery cart, the version 2.0. We've also tested out new control systems on old robots. We've prototyped wiring for advanced mechanisms such as a turret, which we have actually included this year. And we've also rewired old robots for training, so they work for sure, we know, and they're organized. And something new this year, which the rookies have quite enjoyed, and I did too, it was very fun. We've actually participated in wire crimping races, which kept the spirit high, and it was really fun. Thank you.
In programming this year, we've been working really hard to make the robot functional and ready inside the competition season. My name is Ishan, and I'm representing the programming subgroup. So what do we do in programming? Well, if you want to think of the robot build process as an assembly line, right, all these subgroups come first, and then the robot comes to us. Now when it comes to us, it's functional parts, and the parts can move, but they don't do anything. So what we do is we write the code and software to be able to make them be able to be controlled by the drivers, and also have logic run on their own. Now, we also work really closely with electrical and controls to make sure that the robot moves as we want it to, and that the wires and circuitry are synced with the program. Now, we've done some really cool technology this season, right? So starting with vision, we've been able to make programs that you can point the camera at a target, and it'll tell you the exact distance and angle towards the target. And to do this, we've upgraded our computer from the previous Raspberry Pi to the all-new and all more powerful Jetson Nano. And that's given us enhanced vision capabilities. Now, for the turret takes that vision data and actually aims, right? But what if we lose vision data? We've also added code so that the robot position keeps tracking after we lose data to keep the turret aimed at the target. Now, the indexer has beam brake sensors, and what those are sensors that get tripped as the ball moves through it. Now, what we can do with that data is we can keep a constant track of how many balls we actually have on the robot, and we've also made error cases like what if the beam brake sensor gets tripped twice by a shaking robot. Now, for the shooter, we've also been developing an algorithm and interpolated map, so that we can basically tell the shooter, okay, the target's this far away, and it'll spin the motor exactly how fast it's needed to hit it in the target every time. And we've been working on fine-tuning that and making it work precisely. Now in autonomous, we've also been working really hard in making sure that the robot is effective and efficient in how it moves and gets balls in the 30 seconds where it runs on its own. And we've been working closely with Strat on that to make sure they're in with it too. And also a fun project we've been doing is this year we have an LED strip on the robot, so we've been programming that and making it look flashy and nice.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Ma. I'm a member of the strategy subgroup, and I will be overseeing tablet studying for the upcoming competition season. This season, one of the tasks we have is testing and training our drive team, which is in charge of controlling the robot during the matches. We also extensively review the game rules and strategies in order to find the best way to win as many points as possible during our matches. We also manage paper scouting, which is basically qualitative data on other teams, and tablet scouting, which is quantitative data. Other than our main subgroup functions, we also work on specific projects to engage the members of our group. For instance, we practice gathering scouting data for Week 0 events, which helped our team to get accustomed to our methods of acquiring robot data. Additionally, we tested our shooter, collector, and indexer prototypes, so we can fine-tune everything that was going on there. Even before we could work on our drive team training, we had to test all the drive team applicants in a series of tests for our driver, co-pilot, and human player. As a subgroup, our overall goal is to figure out the best strategy for advancing our team and to learn as much as we can about other teams at our competitions. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm the safety captain, and this year I'm very happy to announce the start of the safety proxy program, a program that I've been working towards that only really could form this year. And what this is a few more people few more hands on deck for safety. At meetings, we're responsible for informing teammates about safety procedure and monitoring and restocking any first aid. At competitions, we would be prepared for any safety emergencies. As you can see, we have a competition checklist that we made and the first aid stock list that system that we created to kind of organize everything that we have in our first aid kit here in the shop. And I want to celebrate this year's safety proxy, so if your name is called, please stand up. Aditya Dande, Roland Walters, Caden Burkhart, and Meteor Shastri. If you're here, please stand up. So, clap.
Now to talk about a little bit how we actually. Oh no! Now to talk about a little bit how we actually made the robot. We'll talk about our build process.
Alright, so with the beginning of our season every year, we usually have something called Strat Sunday, Strategy Sunday. It's a day right after kickoff where the entire team comes together to build a priority list, first of all. This priority list allows us to make sure everybody's on the same page as to what mechanism we're prioritizing first, what we want to prioritize on the robot, and make sure we get done. We also make sure we learn the rules of the game as much as possible so that we all know the rules of the game going forward. And then we begin by collecting prototype sketches. Design collects prototype sketches from everybody across the team. Everybody's welcome to submit their ideas, and we go through them and take something from each concept. Then once we do that, design adds the details to each concept, again in CAD. You can see in that picture right there, some of the design kids are working on CAD and Fusion 360. We add details to the designs, and we detect any potential design flaws, add things ourselves, and make sure everything's good to go. And then we also we coordinate with fabrication to make sure that the prototyping is going in parallel with what we're conceptualizing, to make sure that the prototypes work so that we could CAD them up and detect any design flaws, potential design flaws early on, so that we could have as speedy as season as possible.
Good. So the next step in our overall build season process is prototyping. And as Amin said, it's a very involved, hand-in-hand with design and fabrication sort of working together in order to make the robot out of potentially nothing. So as we go through those concepts during the conceptualization process, we end up honing in on a couple of things that we want to test. And when we hone in on those things that we want to test, they get broken up into two further groups. Those that we think we can do physically, and those that need to be relegated to a CAD study only. Those that are only a CAD study end up primarily within the realm of design. That was our climber this year. But for the rest of them, which was multiple different intake, indexer, and shooter designs, you end up with the new fabrication, which are these pictures that you see here. We end up breaking fabrication up into groups, and we also had some people from other subgroups as well, to attempt multiple variations of the same thing. Most importantly, we attempted two different ways of indexing this year.
One of them went through quite a few implementations, but eventually settled on a extension out this way, which our current design does not extend in that way, but the centering mechanism and rolling from that design did make it onto our final robot, albeit with a little bit smaller rollers. The other one swung out, and while I did have difficulty getting that to work during the prototyping phase itself, this is how our current prototype actually actuates. We also had the indexer prototype. This one worked really well. Only real problem we had with it was that it was too tall, but that was just because it was demonstration. And we had the shooter prototype. Wasn't anything too new, but we did make it, unlike some years where we tried from the side, feed directly from the bottom in order to make it function all together. Once we have these prototypes in a semi-functional state, we run them through tests. Now, of course, there's an inherent level of jank to be extracted from a prototype because it is only a prototype and not the full functioning model. It is functional enough to collect data. And we use that data, and Strat helps us with that data, and everybody kind of comes together with that data and we determine what concepts we can move ahead with, what concepts maybe need revision, and what concepts maybe just need to be left in the past. Those concepts then are further refined on our prototypes, tweaked together, and together, and together, to eventually arrive at something that we might be happy with, and it goes on the final robot. That's prototyping.
Hello everybody, my name is Nate, I'm the electrical lead and I'm also the technician on the graph team. I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about actually creating and developing a robot. So, as Kyle said, once everything has been prototyped and we've narrowed everything down to what mechanisms we'll actually be using on the robot, the engineering outside the team is tasked with actually putting everything together, building the robot, and taking all the designs that designs made and actually making them real physical objects that we can touch and assemble. So, you see up here we have NULL and Void being assembled. Those are just drag trains. We have a little fun over there. So we're tasked with Kyle's group, fabricating everything, my group, wiring everything, programming. You guys heard talking about making everything move, drive everything that we've wired, and then of course strategy, telling us how we're going to do with that robot. So, and then a couple things that we had to overcome during this part of the season were we had a new control system that my group had to work with, what Michael talked about a little bit. We had the turret that Eric talked about a little bit. That was interesting because our team has never actually put a turret on a robot before. And having a shooter on the turret means that the wires have to travel with it. So we actually prototyped that during the prototype part of the season that Kyle was talking about. And then once we had our design for that, we catted up a chain to house all the wires inside of it that rotates along with the turret so that none of the wires get caught in that nice gear that we had machined. And then, as Robert mentioned earlier, we have our nice Jetson to do the vision that sits on top of the turret. And then we move into the next part.
Hey everybody, that's the controls lady for this year. I'm going to be talking about testing. So once we have stuff built, and even if it's just a wooden prototype, like you see in the bottom right corner there, we work to get times on everything. So strategy collects all sorts of data. You can see them there with our model of the hub, trying to see how long it takes to shot, to get shots fired, how bad the ball is spinning when it comes out, how much that's going to affect our ability to score. And at the very start of the season, right after kickoff, we all split into groups and pick a section of the rules to go over. So we all, and that group basically, they read over the rules, they talk together to make sure they understand it, and then they make a slide to kind of explain it to everyone else so that we all have a good understanding of this. That's always our thing as a team, we understand the rules very well. And then once we have the shooter prototype, actually this year, so with the shooter prototype and the indexer prototype, which are both just wooden prototypes, pretty simple, we strap them together actually so we can get, albeit not perfect, somewhat representative of the real product numbers as to what our final robot will look like. And we also practice with drive train, drive team. You can see up there, Eric is driving that right now. Eric is our driver and co-driver. Probably should have said that. And that picture is actually taken moments before he hit a table. And so we work on collecting balls, and now that we have a shooter, we're going to hopefully this Saturday actually get some work done, practicing getting balls fired into the hub, or at least fired somewhere.
Now, let's talk about how we can get, you guys can get involved with our team. So there's a lot of opportunities for you parents to actually get involved. There's a lot of seats open in RPM, and there's going to be even more in the coming years. Of course, you can mentor, you can come to our events, and you can help us fundraise to make us have more money to actually do the fun stuff that we actually get to do. You can also follow us on our social medias that we constantly post to a fault. Each one of these gets updated very constant, and we have people working on them to update them even during our events. So, stuff to look at first. Thanks for coming. This was really fun. It's been a really couple stressful few weeks for a lot of us. So we're here and we got to actually show off the cool things that we got to do. So thank you for coming and thank you for seeing us, seeing what we actually have to show for you. Now, the moment we all been waiting for.
In just 1 second. I'm just setting it up really quickly.
As it takes.
It does. Robots are a tedious process. Really quickly before we ended things off here and started to kind of show you guys what we've been working on for the entire season, I just wanted to give a couple of final remarks. If you don't know me, I'm David Reed, the student president of the team. Basically, the very long email guide that you've been reading in the past. So just a couple of quick thank yous and notes that I wanted to give out. First off, a huge thank you to all of our student presenters here who've done such an amazing job showing to you guys what we've done this season. There is a lot of information that, we cannot fit all of it in this one kind of already big presentation. So they did a great job kind of condensing what their subgroups and projects have been doing. And I'm very proud for all of them for doing that. And all of them kind of put their effort into their own slides. So you saw a bunch of stuff with pictures, you saw a bunch of stuff with subgroup notes. They all wrote that down. They all knew they were going to come up and speak here, so they did an amazing job preparing for this. And not only are presenters here, those are just kind of a few representatives of the subgroups. There would be hard to fit 160 kids currently on the stage with the screen up here. So there's a ton of other students on this team who have been involved and constantly involved with the process. If you've been up to date with our meeting calendar, there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of hours. We've reached a point where we've kind of got over 24 hours a week, which is a lot. So thank you guys thank you parents for bearing with us as you're kind of maybe driving or handling your kids at robotics. But thank you to all the students who've been coming constantly and making sure they're staying involved. It really helps us out. Even though we have a lot of projects obviously. Even though we've had a little bit of struggle, we powered through due to all of our students who have been here. A couple quick other notes. On the RPM slide, oh gosh, and this isn't connected now. There we go. So we do have a Dearborn ham sale fundraiser coming up soon. And actually, our RPM president is going to talk about that really quickly.
Hi, I'm Sheila Winnegar, I'm the RPM president. We are putting together a Dearborn ham sale. The flyer is out. Tuba has them right now. Tuba has them, so she'll be passing them out. It starts today and goes to Friday, March 25th. The order forms along with the payment needs to be in to Mr. O by Friday the 25th. I will be picking them up and putting the order in the following week. There is more than just ham in the flyer. There's bacon, there's the smoked turkey, breast and also ham, and kielbasa that they sell. A really big fundraiser for us, and as you can imagine, with almost 200 kids on this team and what they put together, it takes a lot of money to run this program. So we are here to help assist with the team as much as we possibly can. We are also looking for RPM board members. We do have a couple of our RPM board members that are graduating out with their kids. So if you are interested in helping out with the treasurer, our current treasurer his son is a junior, so he has one more year, and that is a big job. If you have any knowledge in 501k accounting, or 501c accounting, we would be greatly appreciative if you were willing to help and follow Dan for a year, because he has one more year. Our travel coordinator is leaving after this year. We are opening up a communications person to assist with our secretary, Laura, and also food. It takes a lot to feed this team. Anytime we are out and about, we are feeding these kids, and we feed them very well. We are on average every Saturday, we are feeding about 130 people. So that's coming from us, and we need volunteers helping with that. So our food coordinator is also does a great job. We do have 2 Facebook pages. Most of you probably know about the Meeting Lightning Robotics page, but we also have a boosters page. It's Lightning Robotics Boosters. Laura will be sending out an email with all that information, so you guys can go to that page and apply there. It's a great page that we put a lot of parent information out there, so it's a great page to be on. Again, this is coming out. We have a couple more fundraisers coming up in the very near future that we'll be letting everybody know about. And if you're interested in helping with anything with mentoring, please let us know.
I'm gonna let the screen roll up, so you're gonna see some really weird things up here, because I did not bring the remote with me. So just give me 1 sec. There we go. Very good background now. A couple other thank yous I just wanted to give out. Since there's a ton of people to thank on this team, the amount of people that we have. A lot of our success this year wouldn't have been possible with the people who have kept us going throughout, well, obviously the pandemic and beforehand, as they're the ones who have kind of kept the skill going. They have the knowledge, they kind of lead our students together. Thank you so much to all of our mentors, and especially thank you so much to our lead faculty advisor, Mr. Rowe, and our lead mentor, Joe. I ask you to sit back and relax as you kind of see our robot for the 2022 season, Void, kind of drive around, do some demonstrations with what we've got, and hopefully you enjoy it. And also maybe stick around for another week to check out competitions and see the robot actually compete. But again, thank you so much for coming, as there's probably another chance to talk. I'm really glad there's a lot of turnout, so yeah, thank you. If there's any questions afterwards, you can feel free to talk to me. You can feel free to talk to Mr. O. Really anybody in the kind of team where you can kind of see us. We're kind of standing out with bright orange. Not too surprising. But yeah, thank you so much again. And I'll get out of here so they can demonstrate the robot. You want to give a couple notes on that? All right.
All right, what we're all be waiting for. First robot we're going to show, our practice spot. Go! And now, our main robot, the flashy one.
So by the way, for reference, if you kind of were teaching together or you weren't, our drive team for this 2022 season in competitions, our main driver is Eric Trusso. Our technician is Nate Watt. I'm the new president here, and Joe is our drive coach. So as our drive team kind of shoots their last couple cargo balls for the day, again, quick reminder about the robot. Its main point, of course, we have a rotational turret that will adjust to actually the hub, which we do not have in here because it's huge and it's very heavy in theory. And then, of course, you can see it's kind of driving a little bit slower right now because we don't want to damage the stage or anybody in the audience. That would not be good. Or drive off. Oh, okay, not damage the robot. That's also the main part. But we do have 6 of the fastest FRC motors in the tank drive, and this thing can kind of rack a punch on the field. So look out for Void on the competition field at Milford, March 11th and March 12th. If you keep up to date via emails, because as you know, I will send out emails. That's a guarantee of life, death, taxes, and David's emails. Keep up to date on the emails. We'll be sending out the Twitch link and the Blue Alliance link that you can watch it during competitions at Milford and also Macomb. And we get their states and worlds. And yeah, hopefully you kind of root and cheer for us as we try to succeed through the season. So once again, thank you so much for coming tonight. I kind of see Shadow Mr. Rowe back there. Do you have anything else to add? You want to?
Yep, you excellent job, David.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. You guys are free to go for the night. There's no after meeting for the student required. Yay early night, yay homework, yay sleep. Maybe. Thank you so much.
Lightning Robotics participates in the FIRST Robotics Competition program. What is FIRST? It's a global robotics community that advances STEM education in more than 100 countries around the world. FIRST has a program for every student. To find the program that's right for you, visit the websites listed here.